Hey guys, good morning. I'm back with an interesting video. And the topic of discussion today in this video is the phase which every person has to go through in his life. At least once in your lifetime you have to face rising, like starting from a lower grade job to a higher cadre job. You have to face this situation, and this situation is very critical. Sometimes it may make you to backstep from the organization. Sometimes it can enhance your career, it can enrich your career in that particular organization. Suppose your aim is to work in a Google. I find so many BTech students who are my friends say that, the main aim is to get a job in Google. How do you think these firms select qualified people? I give an quoted words like qualified personnel. Qualified is not just the educational qualification, guys. It's your entire attitude which you have to put through to work to an organization. So that important phase is something which we are learning today, and that is selection. So according to Dale Yoder, selection is defined as a negative process of eliminating from among all the candidates who have applied for various jobs in your organization who appear unpromising. It is a negative process of eliminating. So the people who appear unpromising, you're going to directly eliminate them from your list itself. Then giving an opportunity to the person who are suitable for your organization. So selection process is very critical, and guys, each and every organization, each and every firm who have high standards and who have set up standards in the entire market and on the top rate, obviously they'll have an harsh selection procedure. But it's not so harsh that we as students cannot go through. With your talent, with your hard work, you can get through all these hurdles. Selection process comprises of 9 steps. You don't believe me, guys, and these 9 steps are big hurdles to you in that 3 days of life, or in the first day of your opportunity, getting an interview and all that stuff. That is considered to be a hurdle, and you have to jump over all these hurdles to reach the offer. Each and every step is a phase of rejection, at the same time is a phase of promotion also. If you finish crossing the first step, then you might get rejected. So at any point of time, you can't lose the fear of rejection, because you don't know at what paces you're going to get rejected. Though you're so much talented and you have all the attributes which are suitable for the job, guys, it's true that in selection process itself, out of 120 students who have, or 120 candidates who have applied for the organization, just 2 or 3 get selected. Imagine the situation and imagine the competition which we face daily. So importance of this selection process would be, it increases the overall performance of the organization. And second point is, it gives you an ample choice where you can select a suitable person whose attributes actually impress you to fill in the vacancy in the organization. Thirdly, selection process should be in a systematic manner. It shouldn't have, though I said it should be harsh, but it should be in an appropriate manner. It shouldn't go against the morals and values of the humans, because we are also humans, guys. We also got through all this process, and you being the HR of the organization, you also cross through this. You know how the fright and the fear of rejection or the fear of successing that particular phase. So when they won't create such harsh things, but it's like it should be in a proper and appropriate manner. See, if that particular process is systematic, even for you feel that, okay, that is a systematic process and I have been rejected on a particular point, okay, I get accepted. But if you're rejected on a biased note, then you feel deprived from inside. Oh, I got deprived of this job because someone's recommendation has took that place. You shouldn't get that point. So the HR manager will be in a very critical position of designing the selection process. It shouldn't be so harsh that is against the models. It should be easy, and because he have crossed that phase, it should be very easy. But at the same time, it should follow systematic process. So this selection process gives you a right set of employees with the right attitude to work for your organization. Guys, there are people who have that aim to work in an organization. That itself makes you and drives an inner confidence from you. See, I have to do it and I can do it. Confidence is what matters each and every place wherever you go. Having confidence, good communication skills will get through all hurdles in your life, guys. Sometimes, at least at one first point of time, you get rejected. Second time you try it again, you might succeed, because it entirely depends upon your self motivation. And I thoroughly believe this concept, because as a law student, each and every time we get amendments in the law, or we get so many landmark judgment, and sometimes we also have to take the comments given by the people, and some people abusing the law because it's not working on a proper and a systematic basis. But still, we take all that into consideration. Okay, we strive working hard in order to make the law which actually gives you guidance, which also gives you an ordinance where you have to follow these set of rules for the welfare, and we as working for the welfare of the people. So we know how critical these positions would be. So, and the most important thing which I would like to quote here is, as a student, in our student career or in our student life, we think, okay, getting over things is very easy, because we at this age, at this youth, we feel that we have that inner drive. Okay, we have to do this thing, we will do it. So we'll have that confidence from within. But guys, the outside world isn't like that. You have competition each and everywhere wherever you go. And see, guys, sometimes the selection would be, until the last stage it would be on your side, but in the last stage it might literally turn upside down, and you won't even know the reason. Okay, why the hell did I get rejected? So that phase still we need to cross. So let us know what is the main selection procedure. At least by knowing this procedure, okay, we know at which point of time or at what point are we calculated in an organization, or at what basis can we rejected in an organization. So coming back to the selection process, an important aspect of recruitment and selection would be that an HR, being the HR of the organization, I am the first person you are meeting. So I will create an exposure of the company to you, because you're the first time and you don't know anything about the company. You're meeting me, and it's my sole responsibility to create, and at the same time I should maintain that cordial relationship. So that should be the important aspect of recruitment and selection for any company who is following this procedure. So now let us know what is the procedure of selection, starting from the initial screening till the end point where where you get a job offer letter that this particular company is hiring you as for this particular vacancy in an organization. These are 9 critical steps, and today in this video we're going to discuss few of the steps today. So first would be receiving and scrutiny of applications. Receipt and scrutiny of applications. What is receipt and scrutiny of applications? The first instance, receipt in the sense means recruitment, where recruitment is inviting the applications, and you go to the office, write an application, drop it in the drop box, and that is the company's side. It is receiving the applications, and mostly in all the companies, this particular task is assigned to a clerk who is head of all this receiving and scrutiny of the applications, and this is the first phase where you get rejected. Where anyone, not you exactly, but anyone can reject it. Is suppose I need a person who is qualified with BCom, but I get an application who just qualified BA. So obviously that application is rejected. So an application can be rejected in many ways, based on the educational qualifications, or based on your previous work experience, or based on why did you leave, what are the reasons of leaving the existing organization and joining this new organization. So that might be rejected, especially in this initial scrutiny of applications. You get rejected only by your educational qualifications, or sometimes your aggregates also matter. But guys, your aggregate doesn't mean you. Just a piece of paper which gives you marks doesn't determine what a person is. So please don't get carried away by your marks. Just have potential and have the talent within you that you can do things. So second, coming to preliminary interview. What is this preliminary interview state? Preliminary interview is a little bit phase, but where you have a not board of directors, but an interview panel sitting over there, and they wanted to extract such information from you which is not there in your applications. Like sometimes in your applications, they may not be your extracurricular activities, or what are the reasons for you to bring here for this particular organizations. Sometimes some people even mention educational qualifications also. They try to ask you educational qualifications also in this preliminary interview, because they wanted to know your communication skills here. Because after you cross this particular stage of the selection process, your hurdles increase and increase, and at the same time you'll have that mental pressure on you that you have to get over all this process. So in order to get the job offer, there'll be only one job offer, but you have 50 wide applications. So the choice is by the HR and the interview panel. At the same time, from your side, your drive would be that I have to work out and I have to work so hard that you get this job offer. So in this preliminary interview, they generally ask questions which is not even there on your applications. This is wide much clear, and this is a phase where large number of applications get rejected even after the first scrutiny. Guys, here they're going to test your courage. They're literally going to test your courage and your determination to work. See, if they might ask you very silly questions like, this is a funny thing which I actually noticed. In an IAS interview, people ask you very much tricky questions where the answer lies in the question itself. And they initially ask those questions because in order to test you how much pressure, if they put on you, you're able to handle it. Suppose in an IAS interview, the interview panel asks you, like, just tell me the steps, how the count of steps you have boarded to come to this interview room. And some of the answers would be I don't know, and some would give the random answers like 34, no 10, no 15. But do you even expect what would be the right answer? And for an IAS person, is this the question which they ask? So the interview panel is very tricky because they want to put you on pressure, put you on so much stress, so you have to show how can you handle stress. So the answer for that before question would be this, the number of steps, how many I will get down right now would be the answer for your questions. So your answer should be also so tricky because the interview panel also don't know what are the number of steps there. So even you have to give an answer which they have to think for. So you need to be very tactful and you need to have that spontaneity in you. Okay, if they ask you any question, you need to have that quill coming from inside. So the third would be, you even pass through this preliminary exam interview round. The third round would be blank application form. You would think, how many applications, guys, you have to fill? It's like blank application form is like most of the interview panel board don't get your applications, but they just get your names. Like, this particular person is selected, and sometimes they get your resumes or this curriculum vitae, those CVs. So here what they do is they give you an application form. That's a blank application form, and that should be filled by you handwritten. So what is this blank application form, and what does it contain? Blank application forms contains 6 to I guess it contains something around 7 columns, like 7 rows where you have to fill them handwritten. So first is your personal details. What's your name, what's your age, what is your marital status, and what's your marital status, what's your gender, what's your email ID, what's your contact number. Those are your personal details. Coming to the second would be your educational qualification, what qualifications you have pursued till now, and what are your special qualifications also. All the educational qualifications, BTech, BBA, BCom, law, all that stuff come over there. Coming to the third, previous experience. Guys, before answering this question in a blank application form, be very clear. There should be no ambiguity in your answers because they find trickiness in this question also. See, previous experience also states that suppose you left an organization and you have to write that experience over here. So write it in a clear manner so that they won't find any flaw there. And your application form should be flawless. Looking into the application form itself should give them a clear idea. Okay, this guy is very much clear and is not ambiguous. So then would be your references. So how did you get to know about this offer? Is this by an advertisement or is it by any reference? And all that stuff. And that would be, the reference question might be asked in two ways, where how did you know about this job, and the other references is each and every company, before taking a person into the job, he also have to make a verification. There are two types of verification. One verification, that is police verification and background verification. So they might ask you to give the details about two particular contacts or any other numbers who are not your relatives, who are not your friend, who are not your relatives. I mean, who are not blood related. So they will ask, they'll call them and inquire them about your character, behavior, attitude, and all that stuff. That would be the second reference. Then the next would be the most important question is salary expected. How much remuneration do we expect from this organization? So most of the people write here negotiable. Some people write, I worked in the previous organization which paid me 35,000. Now I expect 50,000. Guys, please don't write like that. See, that is not the way where you fill in the salary column, because you are demanding the organization. First of all, you didn't even get the job offer. How could you demand? You that is up to you guys. I'm not going to give you any answer like how much amount should I write. It's like negotiable is giving them an option. It is like depending upon my caliber, it's also giving them an option. You yourself can tell, okay, I'm 35,000, 40,000. Don't write in figures. Sometimes if the company is specifically asking please mention, then write it in words. Then your extracurricular activities, which also play a vital role. See, sometimes, I find people get rejected for their hobbies also. So extracurricular activities are the hobbies which you do in your free time. Then the last and final thing would be reasons for seeking the job. Guys, this is the utmost important, and this is going to decide your future. Out of all these qualifications, you're just going to put what you wanted to do and what you are actually in sense. So you're writing it on in this paper, but reasons for seeking this job is something which you have to write, where the first instance is you have to write praising the organization, guys. And before going to interview also, you need to know what's the organization mission and vision is, because vision and mission is something which gives you the detailed study about what the organization is. So when what are the reasons for seeking the job in this particular organization? Some might write it as that's my goal to get an opportunity in your organization. Write it in such a manner because people get impressed looking into it. The people should, okay, looking into it, see, write something about you. First, praise the organization. Write something about you, what you can do for the organization to achieve higher standards. Write that in what are the reasons for seeking the job. And write your talent also there. Suppose as a law student, most of us will have the talent of drafting. So what is the reason for seeking a job? Our answer would be, I have excellent drafting skills and I can speak so spontaneously that I can actually forego the other person who is actually competing with me also. So you need to be confident about your personal competencies, guys, because your competencies are going to put you in standards or give you a quality to yourself that yes, he is quality person with qualifications. So that's what the name which you have to get in this particular blank application form. In this particular blank application form, there's a little bit possibility of the people get rejecting, because this particular phase is something where you cross the preliminary interview. So people think more forward to think about you again in the next coming steps. So the fourth important step and the most critical step where each and every person has to rigorous task is tests, written tests. So guys, this taking test is also very much mandatory for all the organizations right now. It's like you can't even skip this written test format also. Some organizations, sometimes, even when they call you directly for the interview, they ask you to write this written test. Okay, now let us know what makes what are the important characteristics of a good test. This is on the employer side of you, and at the same time employee side of you also. First is job analysis as the basis. I told you in the recruitment that they have given you an analysis of the job, like these are the particular requirements which we want from a particular person who is applying for this particular job. So in this instance, job analysis will be taken as the basis. For a good test, job analysis will be taken. Because guys, when you're applying for the job in an organization, obviously you have to know what the job is to do. And you need to know, okay, what is the job which is allocated to you and how you have to do. So guys, before going for interview, know what the job is and what the job description, know the job content, and know what are the skills which you require for the particular job to perform. Then would be reliability. Written test should be framed in such a manner that the results can be related. The results can be relied. So suppose if the written tests are valid for 100 or 10 marks or 20-30 marks, so the results also should be in a relied format. Like suppose I give you out of 100, if suppose 75, and the other person I give him 95, so you have to not ask me questions later. So the good test should be reliable also. Then objectivity. There must be an element of objectivity in the test. It's like the how do I say you objectivity? It's like if one test is administered to one candidate, I have to give to the other candidate the other test. It's like no effective comparison should be there. Now suppose I give you one test to do. You have performed, you have written this test and you're qualified. I've given the other person also the same test. And see, there won't be any effective comparison. I have to give you both the people the same test so that I have an opportunity of an effective comparison. Then multidimensional. See, suppose your job is software engineer and I give you a written test only based on your proficiency and the software skills. Then I'm hiring a person who just has one skill, but I wanted a person who has diverse skills and knowledge. So obviously my test also would be multidimensional because I want to test you in all the ways. Because for the person being fit for my organization, I wanted to test him in all the ways. I don't want anyone to raise a finger on me. See, this guy knows only one thing. I don't want that remark on me. So obviously my test would be multidimensional. So guys, before you go to write and attempt a written test, see to it that you also know about the general affairs, current affairs, and few general laws which I already stated, and also your job analysis, your subject related questions also. Sometimes maths also is there. So quantitative aptitude, reasoning, and all that stuff are all tested in this written test. Now, we have learned what are the characteristics of the good test. Now, let us know what are these types of tests and their various advantages and disadvantages. So, that's what we are going to learn in the next class. Because, that's a very vast topic, and you learning something what the various types of tests are is very much critical. And guys, these tests also determine your caliber to write things in a stipulated time. Suppose we give you a stipulated time, like this test to be completed in 30 minutes, and you do little 1 minute late or 1 second late, you can be fired there. Because they make tests critical, at the same time they make the selection of the time also critical. So in my upcoming video, let us know what are this type of tests, and at the same time what are its respective advantages and disadvantages, following with the various other steps used in selection. So stay tuned for the upcoming video. Thank you.